Sister Wives Season 20 Episode 11. Meri's Las Vegas leap, Christine's final line, and Janelle's "Why now?" Season 20 of Sister Wives has been far from gentle. At this point in the series, the Brown family isn't simply fractured. It's reorganizing itself into completely separate universes, each with its own emotional gravity and unresolved trauma. Episode 11 in particular shows us what happens when long-neglected wounds are reopened, long-ignored truths surface, and long-promised apologies finally start rolling out, but not necessarily for the right reasons. Kody Brown has entered what fans have labeled his apology tour, a phrase that neatly captures the mix of cynicism, exhaustion, and guarded curiosity the viewers and his ex-wives are experiencing. But even before we dive into Kody and his motivations, the episode begins with something else entirely. Meri Brown looking for a new life far beyond polygamy, Christine Woolley issuing perhaps her strongest declaration yet, and Janelle confronting emotional wreckage she's been carrying for years. Let's break down every plotline, every emotional shift, and every question this episode raises about accountability, healing, love, and what comes after a spiritual marriage implodes. 1. Meri Brown's Las Vegas dating experience, a leap toward reinvention. For over a decade, Meri Brown's storyline in Sister Wives has been defined by restraint, hope deferred, and a willingness to settle for emotional scraps that no viewer believed she deserved. That's why watching her finally step into a new dating adventure in Las Vegas feels like a milestone, even if it carries the kind of awkward uncertainty that only Meri can bring to a situation. 1.1. Why Las Vegas? Why now? To understand why Meri chose Vegas for a dating experiment, we have to consider the emotional context. Las Vegas is symbolic for the Brown family. It's where they lived for several years, where the kids went to school, and where the Browns had some of their most stable seasons before the family began unraveling. For Meri, Vegas is a place halfway between nostalgia and possibility. Familiar enough to not feel overwhelming, yet distant enough from Flagstaff to give her a sense of emotional autonomy. She's not looking for a whirlwind romance, at least not consciously. She's looking for connection, validation, and the simple pleasure of being seen. 1.2. The red flag, a possible link to adult entertainment. The twist of the dating event possibly being connected to the adult entertainment world adds a layer of humor and unease. It's classic Meri. She finally tries something new. Something goes slightly sideways. She panics, but also laughs her way through it. The moment she and her friend question whether strippers might be involved shows how wildly outside her comfort zone Meri is. In the Brown household, romance for Meri hasn't been lighthearted or fun for years. It's been painful, lonely, and tense. The idea that her first post-Kody dating event might include dancers isn't just comedic. It also symbolically represents how foreign normal dating still feels to her. 1.3. Meri's heart set on a connection, not necessarily a forever man. The significant reveal in this episode is that Meri isn't looking for eternity anymore. Not with Kody, not with the dating world, not with anyone. She's looking for companionship, something that has been missing from her life since long before she left her spiritual marriage. This shift is important because for years, she clung to the idea of forever with Kody even when he all but checked out. Her confidence was wrapped tightly around the idea that she might someday get his attention back. Now, the idea of dating someone casually, even someone she might never marry, feels liberating. 1.4. The speed dating guy remains in the picture. The episode also reminds viewers that Meri is still in contact with the man she met during her previous speed dating experience. It's typical Meri. She tries something new, meets someone who treats her decently, and instead of moving on entirely, she keeps a foot in both worlds. It's not a sign of indecision. It's a sign of someone relearning how to date, slowly, carefully, and with the emotional caution of someone burned one too many times. Whether this man will become important later remains to be seen. But the writers clearly want viewers to understand that Meri's romantic life is no longer dormant, and more importantly, no longer tethered to Kody's indifference. 2. Christine Woolley draws her final line. I never want to speak to Kody again. Christine Woolley has already emerged as the phoenix of the Brown family breakup. Fierce, independent, transformed, and unafraid to live on her own terms. But episode 11 gives us one of the most definitive statements she has ever made: a refusal to speak to Kody Brown ever again. 2.1. Christine's reaction to learning Kody contacted Janelle. Christine's reaction isn't jealousy or bitterness. It's clarity. When she learns that Kody reached out to Janelle, she immediately turns to her husband, David Woolley, and declares she wants nothing to do with Kody. It's not a tantrum, it's closure. For Christine, Janelle receiving a call from Kody means nothing about her own relationship with him. She's already processed the grief, the resentment, the loneliness, and the years of emotional neglect. What she hasn't done and refuses to do is reopen a door she firmly shut. 2.2. Why Christine rejects Kody's apology before he even offers it. Christine doesn't need an apology. She doesn't want one. The marriage ended not because of one event, but because of years of being emotionally sidelined. Kody prioritizing Robyn above all else. Kody's dismissal of her needs. A pattern of criticism, judgment, and double standards. The breakdown of trust. But the final straw, the moment that viewers still call unforgivable, came when their daughter, Isabel, needed surgery for her scoliosis. Christine was preparing their daughter to face a major medical procedure, alone, and Kody refused to accompany them. He didn't make excuses rooted in concern for her health. He didn't offer alternatives. Instead, he suggested delaying her surgery for over 6 months to fit his personal schedule. No mother forgets that. Christine didn't just lose faith in Kody as a husband. She lost faith in him as a father. 2.3. Christine's emotional freedom with David Woolley. Her clarity in this episode is also a reflection of the stability she has now. Her relationship with David gives her something she never had with Kody: unconditional support, emotional consistency, a partner who sees her as a priority, the ability to express boundaries without backlash. Her refusal to reconnect with Kody isn't harsh, it's healthy. 3. Kody Brown travels to Raleigh. The apology tour begins. After years of conflict, distancing, emotional favoritism, and fractured relationships, Kody Brown has decided to embark on what he calls an olive branch journey. Episode 11 focuses heavily on his visit to Raleigh, North Carolina, to meet with Janelle, the wife who, for years, seemed to be his counterpart in emotional neutrality and calm logic. But even Janelle has reached her breaking point. 3.1. Why Janelle is the first stop. Kody openly admits he isn't ready to speak to Christine or Meri. This says more about him than it does about them. With Meri, he's avoided emotional accountability for years. With Christine, the tension is too raw, too deep, and too public. But with Janelle, he sees an opening. Janelle has historically been level-headed, diplomatic, less reactive, more forgiving, the most aligned with Kody's practical mindset. In Kody's mind, Janelle may be the easiest path toward repairing his public image and mending at least one relationship. 3.2. What Janelle wants now: a spiritual divorce. For viewers who have watched since season 1, this moment carries enormous weight. Janelle was the one who always encouraged stability, avoided emotional drama, focused on family unity, gave Kody the benefit of the doubt. But in this episode, we see her finally drawing her own line. The emotional trauma the family endured during Kody's extreme COVID rules that disproportionately targeted her sons, left a bruise that hasn't healed. Janelle watched her boys sink into depression, isolation, and disillusionment with their father. The emotional burden eventually became too heavy to ignore. Her choice to seek a spiritual divorce isn't about spite. It's about freedom. She does not want the weight of eternity tethered to a man who, in her eyes, abandoned their family's emotional core. 3.3. The real reason for Kody's visit. Viewers' big question. Janelle asks a question viewers have been asking for months. Why now? What suddenly changed? Is Kody seeking forgiveness because he genuinely wants to make amends? He fears losing all 3 of his former wives at once? He wants to repair his relationship with his children? He feels guilty about how the family fell apart? Or is this about narrative control and image recovery? The episode doesn't give us a clear answer. But the timing is suspicious, especially considering the dwindling family structure around him and the fractured bond even with Robyn's children. 4. Janelle's grief, anger, and why now? Out of all the Brown wives, Janelle has often been the emotional anchor, practical, steady, and unshakable. But Season 20 has allowed viewers to see a side of her that rarely surfaced during their family's most united years. Vulnerability. 4.1. The pain of losing Garrison. The episode touches on Janelle's heartbreak watching her son Garrison sink deeper into depression during the pandemic-era turmoil. Kody's rigid rules, unilateral decisions, and refusal to compromise placed Janelle in the impossible position of choosing between her husband and her sons. She chose her sons, and she never regretted it. Kody's lack of empathy toward Garrison's emotional decline created a wound between father and son that remained open until Garrison's tragic passing in real life. That real-world heartbreak echoes through episodes like this one, where Janelle's exhaustion and sorrow can't be ignored. For point 2. Janelle is done, truly done. By the time Kody arrives in Raleigh, Janelle has emotionally moved on. She's not asking for reconciliation, not asking for answers, not asking for closure. She wants peace, autonomy, distance, emotional clarity, and most importantly, she wants to end the spiritual marriage permanently. For point 3, can she forgive him? Should she? The episode leaves viewers with this question. What does forgiveness even mean in a situation like this? Does forgiveness require reconciliation? Does it mean letting go of the pain? Does it require acknowledging Kody's perspective? Or is forgiveness simply releasing the emotional burden so she can move forward? Janelle doesn't say she wants revenge. She says she wants release. That distinction matters, and it may be the most defining emotional milestone of her journey. 5. Does Kody deserve forgiveness? This is the question the episode subtly positions at the center. Not whether Kody offers apologies, but whether those apologies carry meaning. 5.1. Accountability versus justification. One of the frustrations viewers have expressed over the years is that Kody often apologizes in circles, where each apology becomes half accountability, half justification, half frustration at not being understood. His attempt to mend things with Janelle seems sincere on the surface, but sincerity isn't enough if it's not paired with change, acknowledgement of harm, willingness to listen, acceptance of responsibility. This episode shows a Kody who is starting to recognize the fallout of his behavior, but whether he fully understands it is still unclear. 6. Where the episode leaves each woman Meri. Stepping into dating, learning to detach, searching for connection, not commitment. She's in transition and she's finally allowed to breathe. Christine. Firm, free, happily remarried, and uninterested in reopening past wounds. Her happiness is no longer tied to Kody's existence. Janelle. Seeking closure, not reconciliation. Her focus is on healing, independence, and claiming her emotional life without interference. 7. Final thoughts. A pivotal turning point. Season 20, Episode 11 is a watershed moment in Sister Wives. It's not about polygamy anymore. It's about aftermath, accountability, and rebuilding separate lives. For the first time, all 3 former wives are moving forward decisively, while Kody is left trying to reassemble relationships he neglected for too long. The emotional core of this episode lies in a simple truth. Healing does not arrive on someone else's schedule. Forgiveness cannot be forced, and reconciliation isn't always the right path. For Meri, Christine, and Janelle, the future is no longer tied to Kody Brown's choices, and Episode 11 makes that clearer than ever.